Welcome to the Daily Awesome Podcast. I'm Steve Mayeda, and this is a video about fighting, why you should fight, and the real dynamic of it and how it fits into masculinity in men. And it might not really be expecting what you think we're going to say on it. But this actually came from a long discussion about maybe an hour, maybe 40 minutes here on our MD Excellence call. It's 11 p.m. and we started this call at 8 p.m. We got 9 guys on, and there's just been probably 17 dudes trafficking in and out of here. And it's the end of August, so we're moving on to another month. Anyway, we record these calls live and we share these broadcasts so that people get more involved with what we're doing, because it's a good thing, man. If you're a man, it's good to be a part of a men's group to talk about this stuff. So this is one of the things, and I actually forget how this conversation got started, but it got started about, I believe it was street fighting and the different problems that come along with it, and how a Russian bodybuilder got in a fight with an MMA guy, and the guy died. It was a totally screwed up thing, after the guy was beating him while on the ground and out and so on. But we were talking about fighting, and all of us got into this big discussion about it, and everybody has different points of view on it and so on. But there's a distinct and clear thing that comes into play. And this is one of those things that I've always said. And as soon as I started coaching men, this was a distinct thing that I really felt with guys, is all guys need to fall in love, get their heart broken, and get in a fight. And these are things which are so important to building a foundation of who you are as a man, that if you don't have them, you're almost lost and unaware, searching for the meaning of this, that the threshold to your awareness of self stands there. And let's just look at this when it comes to fighting. All right. So fighting obviously can be very dangerous. It's not the greatest thing to do. It's mean, or it's bad, or blah, blah. You get hurt. You could hurt somebody else. There's all sorts of reasons which I know why I do not want to get in a fight today. But having crossed that threshold where it's happened, there's so much richness that has come from it. One, I don't fight in stupid fights. I get in fights online, but I realize what they are what they are. I realize that when I'm in an argument with somebody, I realize when I bump into somebody in a bar and he wants to fight me, I realize that if we were to fight, what that meant. I realize the whole range of myself, that what it means to actually hurt somebody, what it means to actually win, what it means to lose, and what it means to get hurt. And those are all things that I have a point of reference with in my life. And it's really interesting, because as I'm saying this, I'm thinking to somebody that hasn't actually gotten in a fight, you're going to interpret this in all the wrong ways. That those things like falling in love, those things like getting your heart broken or getting dumped or putting it all on the line and not having it work out, are things that give you character. They give you an awareness. They give you some sort of depth of self that cannot be defined in any other way. And what I see for men over and over and over again is trying to achieve and accomplish those things without doing them. Think about that. How many times do you try and fall in love? How many times do you get to know women? How do you get some experience with women? But you don't put you on the line. But you're so afraid of what failure in that might mean that you won't do it. That getting your heart broken is something that is so fearful, or that it's so traumatic and so painful, that you won't now fall in love. You won't now put yourself on the line in a relationship. So that means none of your relationships can work, because you're so fucking afraid of being that broken guy. Whereas having had those experiences, having had those failures, having had those losses, having had those things in your life, it gives you an awareness. This is one of the things that we were talking about with fighting, because again, there's a different range of what people say on here. There's some guys who have a lot of experience with fighting. There's some guys who have a little bit of experience, but we were talking about we were going on and on about it. And it was great, man. It was really cool. It was total guy talk, how things slow down, how you feel good afterwards, how even after you lose, if you don't get pummeled or knocked out or something seriously injured, because most pain that you feel kind of goes away, right? Or it kind of gets subdued. You can deal with it. But if you truly have something broken or fractured to the point where you can't ignore it. But if you walk away from a fight, even when you lose, you still feel good. This clarity that comes from it, this sense of who you are in it, the dump of adrenaline, the dump of the different hormones that come around, or how when you get hurt or when you hurt somebody, what that means. That's actually a real terrible feeling. And there's been a lot of fights, and even in This is different. So this is competition. But in fights where I've hurt somebody, and man, when that happens, it's like, okay, stop. Sometimes people don't stop. And man, that gives a whole different dynamic to the fight. That moves into this rage or this other thing that happens, but you got to know the difference of that. But even in tournaments where there's a couple times where I've dislocated feet or popped ankles and, had like really, really big pops, I can't tell you that during that time how good that feels when it happens. The thing is, I don't want to hurt somebody. I don't want to permanently hurt somebody. I don't want to have that consequence happen in it. But when we're fighting, we've all agreed to these terms in a competition setting. There's a feeling that comes with that you can't describe as, man, feeling good. And every time I've done that, I stop immediately. It's everybody always makes fun of me because on the videos I'm like, stop. But and then I've had my ankles popped. I've had different things happen to me. I've been hurt in those different ways. I've been knocked out. I've gotten plenty of concussions. I've had plenty of consequences to it. I mean, I've broken my hands. I've broken my nose. I've chipped my teeth. I've had all sorts of different problems that when I am about to, or when I'm confronted by somebody, and man, it never happens. Here's the other thing too about fighting guys. You can always get out of it. It takes two to tango. It's a lot easier than you think to walk away from it. But and for years, that's what I've done. But I think about that. If somebody's going to confront me, if somebody's that angry at me, if somebody's that pissed off, I think about that. Man, is it worth a broken hand? Is it worth their hand being broken? Is it worth, what can happen? Because when you start fighting, when you get in that mode, man, like, it's so easy to headbutt, to elbow, to eye gouge, to do things which cause to take someone's head and steering wheel it into a corner. These are all things that are so easy to just happen in that situation, to move with the flow and have your body and your physiology take over in those moments. And at the time, it might feel like a good or the right thing to do. But man, do you really want to do something? Do you really want to do that to somebody? And would you want that done to you, all for some sort of disagreement? But the only way we're going to gain awareness of that is, man, to know what it's like to be in a fight. We need to stop building all the stigma around it. We need to stop building all this tension around it. And to be honest, I think that people, why does violence happen? Why does true violence happen? Why does true violence and harm happen? It either happens out of rage or it happens out of somebody penning stuff up so much to the point where they boil over and they snap and they think they have to act in order to find power. It's that when your fight means something other than the actual physical altercation and you're bringing all this crap into the ring with you, or all this crap into the altercation to you, or when somebody steps on your toes in a bar, or somebody spills your drink and you have to prove that you're a man, and beyond that keeps you to not stop, keep going, and get carried away. We all, because we're unwilling to put ourselves on the line in some natural events that happen for men, although some may argue that, but we've always fought to some degree, maybe not to the point of decimation, but we have this big black eye, this big stigma wrapped around violence in our culture that we don't see how it may naturally come out and express, that we repress it so much where people break and snap and all of a sudden, you get a crazy dude with guns and lots of opinions doing something or whatever it is, or it comes out as hate speech in some bullshit online form, thinking it is a guy who could assert his masculinity. Every single one of those guys who's trolling around on Reddit or being some internet tough guy, one of the best things that he could do is put it all on the line in some way. Get a girlfriend, fall in love, put it online, get your heart broken, get in a fight, get your ass kicked. Know what it means to actually win, to lose, and to wear that. Because it doesn't mean the guy standing on top of a mountain and everybody worshiping because he just knocked some dude out. It means something very, very different and personal. And some of it's good, some of it might be bad, but it's yours. And it's a big, big element to you living your life and owning who you are. So many people are afraid to do that. So here's why you should fight, man. So you can stop fighting your bullshit battles that mean nothing, all trying to compensate or compromise for you not being the man that you feel in yourself and your body. You don't live your beliefs. You don't live who you are. They're fighting to get out of you. In any case, if you like this sort of thing, check out the free stuff linked down below. Daily Awesome Podcast, TSL Podcast. We also do a bunch of different webinars, all to help you gather around with what we're doing. I mean, we're on a call, 10 guys on now, and we're about to dialogue about another cool thing. And it's, man, fucking past 11 p.m. for some guys, man, it's 1 a.m. or early in the wee hours of the morning, depending on where they are in the world. But that's what we do, and it's a cool thing. In any case, we will talk to you guys later. Steve Mayeda signing out. Subscribe, click the related videos or whatever the hell it is. And you have a good day.